guys? Welcome back to the SUPES channel. My name is Matt Ramos, and on this channel I am to entertain, inform, and inspire using the topic of discussion as always, which is superheroes. So guys, Wandavision has officially premiered on Disney+. I want to give a huge shout out to every single one of you that pulled up to our live watch party, watched it with us for the first time, and then after that I sat down with the Cosmic Wonder and my boy Brad Lambert to talk about the show and to talk about what's coming for the future of Marvel. But guys, in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down episode 1 of Wandavision. My original plan was to just make one big video and break down episode 1 and 2, but you know, as you guys can see from this notebook that Marvel sent me for Wandavision, I have broken down both episodes 1 and 2, and there is a lot to talk about each of these episodes. So I'm going to make a separate video for episode 1, which is this one, and then a separate video for episode 2. So with that being said, right before we get into breaking down all of the Easter eggs and big things from episode 1 of WandaVision, make sure to hit that bell notification on my channel and subscribe if you aren't already subscribed in order to get informed about all of the upcoming stuff for Marvel shows and to be able to understand these WandaVision episodes a lot more and what it all means. So with that being said, let's break down episode 1 of WandaVision. So we finally got the return of Marvel. The last time we saw any new Marvel content was back in July 2019 for Spider-Man Far From Home. But now with WandaVision, the series picks off right in this weird sitcom alternate reality. The time setting is the 50s, and right now, Wanda and Vision are just breaking into their new house. They're happily married, and now they're ready to begin their new life as a couple. However, once the series starts, one of the Easter eggs we can see first here is Vision's tie. We can see Vision's tie has a box that has 2 dots in it and then 2 dots on the outside. This box is a visual representation of what this series is all about. It's 2 dots on the inside of a weird alternate reality, which are both Wanda and Vision. And then the 2 dots on the outside are just outside forces that we will see play a role in this series, such as Sword, which again, we'll talk about later on in this video. So as the episode really begins to start, we get to see Vision going to work because he's a businessman, and Wanda is just a casual housewife, which is generally how relationships worked back in the 50s. But then we're quickly introduced to Agnes. Agnes is a neighbor of both Wanda and Vision, and we're all speculating this character to really be Agatha Harkness. In the comics, Agatha Harkness is an ancient witch who's extremely powerful and has origins tied all the way back to the Salem witch trials. So we see Agnes here going to greet Wanda and meet her as her new neighbor, and she kind of starts interrogating Wanda a bit, not really interrogating Wanda, but trying to get to know and understand who Wanda is and what her and Vision are doing in this new town. And one of the things that's really important in this first interaction between Wanda and Agnes is when Agnes mentions Ralph. Ralph is of course her husband, but in this series, we don't know who's playing Ralph. And I have a ton of theories about who Ralph could potentially be, but just know that this is a very important statement when Agnes mentions her husband and mentioned that her and her husband don't really have a good relationship. But anyways, Agnes begins to question Wanda, and we clearly see that something is wrong with Wanda's memory. Wanda doesn't know where her and Vision came from, what is their history. Wanda doesn't know anything from the past. And that is something that, again, shows us that Wanda doesn't really know what's happening here. She's immersing herself in this weird alternate reality, and she doesn't even know what's going on. Next, we cut to Vision working at his job, and we see that Vision is actually putting up a secret identity where he's in his human form. He's not in his casual droid form. And that's very important to note that in this series, both Wanda and Vision are keeping their powers very secretive. They're keeping who they are undercover, and they're posing as this normal couple living in this normal town. So that's what everyone believes them to be. Now, in one of the next scenes, it's actually a commercial. Yes, I know, a commercial. And it's a commercial that's purposely placed in the show. And it was actually a super fun Easter egg. Whereas back in the 50s, during sitcoms just like this, there was commercials all the time to take breaks in between segments. And in this commercial, it features a toaster. But it's not just any toaster. It's a toaster from Stark Industries. And when they actually turn on the toaster, you can hear the same sound of Iron Man's repulsor blast. This was actually just such a fun Easter egg, and I'm really happy that Marvel threw this in, because in episode 2, there's a similar Easter egg in that Marvel's using these infomercials as ways to pay homage to different things from the MCU. And I really like that, because as a fan watching the show, looking for all of the little things here and there, it's exactly what you're looking for. But anyways, as the episode progresses, the main focus of this episode is this dinner meeting between Vision, Wanda, and Vision's boss and his wife. And this meeting, basically, if it goes well, Vision is going to get a promotion at his job. So that is where things start to heat up. So Vision arrives home with his boss and his boss's wife. And as Vision goes to the kitchen, Wanda greets his boss, thinking it's Vision, trying to seduce him. But then Vision quickly turns on the lights, and it's like this whole awkward comedic scene, and it's super funny. But there's actually an Easter egg, well, not really an Easter egg, but an allusion to Wanda's origin in the MCU, which is of course Sokovia. And the way they play off this like weird and awkward greeting that Wanda has with Vision's boss is Vision says that that's how they greet people in Sokovia. And then both Wanda and Vision kind of like put up a fake greeting to make it make sense for the boss and his wife. Now, as Wanda and Vision have a quick chat in the kitchen, Wanda is tasked with making dinner for Vision's boss and his wife. Then that's where we see Agnes enter, and Agnes enters to help Wanda. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I found Agnes to be extremely pushy in this scene. Like, Wanda was literally trying to get her out of the house, and she kept on coming in. She kept on wanting to get involved, and that really stood out to me, that Agnes wants to be a part of Wanda and Vision's life. She wants to be in the middle of all of this. And again, that really stood out to me, and we saw that in this scene. Now, anyways, as Wanda preps dinner, we see the wine being poured into a glass, and on the wine bottle, it says Maison du Mépris. That's the name of the wine. Well, in French, once it's translated, it translates to House of Misery. And this is an allusion to actually one of the most popular Scarlet Witch comics of all time, which is House of M. In the House of M comic, Wanda creates this strange alternate reality where she's in control and life is exactly how she wants it. And that's actually a comic that is heavily inspiring this WandaVision show. Again, that was just a fun little Easter egg to pay homage to Marvel Comics and the things that inspired this show. But now we get one of the most important scenes in the entire episode, which is of course the dinner scene. Now Vision and Wanda are both having dinner with Vision's boss and his wife, and very similarly to the way Agnes was questioning Wanda at the beginning of the episode, Vision's boss and his wife begin to question Wanda and Vision. And that's where the tone of the episode completely changes in a split second. As Wanda and Vision are getting questioned, they're being asked questions that they don't know the answers to, and they start to question themselves. Questions such as, where are you from? How long have you been married? And things like that. And Vision and Wanda begin to kind of like spaz out, and like Wanda is in a state of just like, she doesn't know what's happening and why she's feeling this way, and she doesn't remember anything from her past. Now, as Vision's boss continues to like interrogate the two of them, he starts to choke on food. And this was really interesting to me because he's choking, and his wife's reaction is just, she's just telling him to stop. She's not even freaking out, which shows that none of this is really real at all whatsoever. And again, all of these people that exist in this alternate reality aren't necessarily real people. They could be just figments of Wanda's imagination or with whatever illusion she's putting up in her mind. But as this man is choking on the floor, Vision has the power to save him. And I find it very interesting that Vision didn't save him. It was only until Wanda told Vision to help his boss, and that's when Vision got on the ground and stuck his hand through the boss's throat transparently, because Vision has that power. He kind of phased his hand through his throat and took out the piece of food from his boss's throat, and then saved his boss. But I find it very interesting that it was only until Wanda told Vision to act that he acted, because again, Vision is back and we don't know how he's back. But again, very similarly to the way the people operate in this strange alternate reality, such as Vision's boss and his wife, the same way they're just like weird, they're creepy, and just, they don't really necessarily exist. I don't think Vision exists either. And I think he is a puppet of Wanda.
I think Wanda controls Vision in a way. And that's why when we see in this scene, instead of Vision getting up and acting as he would have in the MC in like the other Marvel movies where he was alive, he only waits until Wanda tells him. And that goes to show that she is in complete control of everything that's happening around her. But after this all goes down, Vision's boss and his wife leave the house, and then Wanda and Vision are both sitting on the couch talking about rings and getting married. And it all leads to Wanda creating rings for both her and Vision. And then they lived happily ever after. They kiss, and then it gets interesting. Because then as the camera pans away from the screen, we see that this is like an actual TV show being broadcasted to a television screen. And this is, of course, going to a SWORD headquarters. We see the SWORD logo on the left side of the screen, and we see that someone is watching the TV show only to close their notebook from taking notes. And this is being broadcasted to a SWORD headquarters. For those of you who don't know what SWORD is an organization, and it stands for Sentient World Observation and Response Department. This is the same organization that we saw Nick Fury managing at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home. And now they're back and they're playing a role in this WandaVision series, having Wanda under surveillance, trying to understand what is actually going on. And we see more of SWORD in episode 2 and what their involvement is in the show. And again, as the show progresses, we're going to see more of SWORD in this show. But this was just a confirmation that SWORD is here, and they have Wanda in this weird alternate reality under investigation. Moving forward, I really think that SWORD is going to be the new SHIELD, but just on a way bigger scale, monitoring not only just threats on Earth, but galactic threats. And threats on a massive level, especially after the events of the Infinity Saga. And, now moving forward, they would monitor the universe. So like that's someone like Thanos never rises to power again. Now, one thing I did say we would talk about later on is the character of Ralph. Earlier on in the episode, Agnes refers to her husband and their kind of like messed up relationship. She refers to him as Ralph, and this character I feel will play a major role moving forward. I'll talk way more about Ralph and who he could potentially be in my next video for the episode 2 breakdown, but a theory that I will drop on you guys in today's video, that this theory isn't mine. This is Brad Lambert's. We talked about it during the watch party, and basically the theory is that Doctor Strange could be Ralph. I mean, Agnes, who I would imagine is conscious and knows what's happening in this alternate reality, and she more than anyone else in this weird alternate reality, she knows what's going on. She knows more than Wanda. She knows more than Vision. Agnes knows what's really going on. And with this show dealing with alternate realities and the multiverse, because we know it's going to set up Spider-Man 3 and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, I feel that it is inevitable that we will see Doctor Strange in this series. So because Agnes is talking so bad about her husband, and again, there's so many more clues in episode 2, but I just want to address, what if Doctor Strange is Ralph? And the reason she's talking bad about him is because, in this weird alternate reality, he is her husband. And maybe when this alternate reality was created, Doctor Strange actually attempted to save Wanda. Because again, this show starts in the sitcom. It starts in the alternate reality. We don't know how this was created. Maybe a big battle went down and Doctor Strange tried to save Wanda and failed in doing so. And now Agatha has him imprisoned. Because like I said before, Doctor Strange is involved in all of this at some capacity. And with them alluding to and just like continuing to just build up the mystery behind the character of Ralph in both episodes 1 and 2, it leads me to believe that it's going to be a major character, and I think that character could definitely be Doctor Strange.
So guys, with that being said, in today's video, I broke down all of the Easter eggs and all of the major things that we got from episode 1 of WandaVision. Now, I'm telling you right now that episode 2 is so much more jam-packed with Easter eggs and things that mean so much more for what's to come in the future. So make sure to hit that bell notification on my channel to get notified when I post my episode 2 WandaVision breakdown. With that being said, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.